6 years ago, when I started this ridiculous quest to originally, if you remember, do every pre-evolved Pokemon, I didn't actually think I'd finish, let alone do almost every Pokemon, but there's only 5 pre-evolved Pokemon left. And it's funny that I've left Goldeen, because Goldeen is actually a Pokemon that a lot of us have a lot of history with. Misty used Goldeen all the time in the anime, and Super Smash Bros., rather than using Magikarp, basically use Goldeen as a Pokemon that just kind of splashes around. I mean, come on, if you've played Smash before, everyone remembers the Goldeen, 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 Goldeen. Like, it's iconic. But we're not playing Super Smash Bros., we're not Misty, this isn't the anime. How is Goldeen going to do in a Red and Blue solo run? The biggest problem I see with its stats is that as a water Pokemon, you don't want bad special. But as a first form, these are actually very respectable stats, respectable speed, great attack, a little weak on HP, but this is pretty good. The bigger issue with Goldeen is its move pool. I mean, in terms of TM moves, it gets all the standard stuff every water Pokemon gets, the water moves and the ice moves, which is going to help it versus Lance. But Brock is often the big gatekeeper in these runs, and Brock is going to be really tough because, unlike most other water Pokemon, we start with Peck. And Peck is a base 35 physical flying move, which is resisted by Brock's Pokemon, and that's going to be really annoying. It will make Viridian Forest relatively quick, but I don't think Brock is going to do so well. We'll see. But first, while they say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, sometimes it's easy to imitate, but hard to truly duplicate. And today's sponsor, Clash Royale, wants to invite those who've been playing these lesser duplicate games to come play the real deal. Clash Royale is a really fun real-time strategy game with even some card game elements. You know, I love that. And I've had a lot of fun playing it. But like I said, there are a lot of others who've tried to cash in on the hype of Clash Royale, and the community has definitely noticed. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, oh no, J-Rose, I spent all this time and all these hours in this copycat. Have I lost all my progress if I switch to Clash Royale? No. Clash Royale has a genius program right now where you can switch to the real deal, but keep your progress. All you gotta do is download Clash Royale on whatever your mobile app store is, set up an account, and quickly you can convert your progress from the fakes into the real deal. Come see why everyone wants to be just like it. There might be many imitators, but there's only one Clash Royale. In situations where I think Brock is going to be difficult, I will battle the Light Years trainer, the Junior trainer, and see how I do against him. If I lose, especially if I just lose to Diglett, I actually will retry, but you can see I barely beat the Diglett and then can't beat Sandshrew. However, that was actually really fast and gave me experience points, so not a bad time just to get the experience points and run. But as I was kind of hinting at, if I can't beat this trainer, I'm not beating Brock. So in order to see whether I even have a remote shot of beating Brock, I need to beat this guy. In order to gain some more experience points, I will battle Rival 1A. Some people get really mad I don't call this person Rival 2, but since the fight is optional, I don't number optional fights. But he was pretty easy. It's kind of funny because Bulbasaur will be the most difficult Pokemon for a Goldeen in the end, but right now, especially without a grass move, and actually probably for Rival 2, Peck should help us out immensely, which is pretty good, although Goldeen's going to be kind of underpowered. We'll deal with that a little later. We still have to beat the Junior trainer. Now, I have an idea what I'm going to have to beat Brock anyway, so I'm going to skip the Junior trainer for a second and see if I can get a few tail whips off. I mean, it's going for Defense Curl, but I just want to see, all right, so that's -2. That's not terrible. Like, you can see what I want to do here, but it's not enough to even beat Geodude. It is an interesting idea. Doing that against the Junior trainer Sandshrew would probably work as well, but it would be really time-consuming and actually not worth the experience points at that point. So I'm just going to go back into the forest and fight a bunch of bugs. I want to see if Geodude is going to do 4 or 5 with Tackle. That's kind of the big thing. Because, alright, it's doing 6 actually, so that was a high roll. But that's really where, actually, I'm going to beat Geodude. Nice. So I've made it to Onyx, not that that really matters. We don't really get anything for getting to Onyx, we get something for beating Onyx, and we're not that close to that. I'm thinking we're going to need to go all the way up to level 19 and use Supersonic, even though it only has 55 accuracy, in order to beat Brock's Pokemon, but I'd like to be wrong here. Well, as it would turn out, at level 16, we get something I've been waiting for. You'll see in a second where Tackle is now only doing 4. This is actually really big because I'm going to get hit so many times. I also am being a lot more aggressive with Tail Whips. I want Geodude to use Tackle because look how much damage, I mean, you know, I kind of give it up in a second, but this actually does make a difference. And then I start stacking damage in such a way that even though it's using Defense Curl, I have such a lead, it's too much. Now against Onix, I'm waiting for Bide, and I'm just anticipating it, going for Tail Whip. -6 is what I want. And then, it's not like Peck does a ton, unfortunately. Now when it goes for Bide, I'm going to have to just waste turns because I can't afford to lose the HP. And honestly, I just get really decent luck other than a couple critical hits. Critical hits, of course, ignore stat drops in Generation 1, which is terrible. But we won. It was just about 20 minutes of real time. I forget what the in-game timer said, but I just checked. It was 104, which isn't terrible considering the bad matchup. But here is where there's another problem Goldeen has. It doesn't really get a good water move at this point. Actually, doesn't get any water move at this point. It's going to get one very shortly. It's funny, this is Bullet Seed in Fire Red Leaf Green, and I've yet to, in any of the runs I've done, actually use Bullet Seed. In Ruby Sapphire Emerald, Bullet Seed's also available very early, and I have made use of it in solo runs, but I don't believe I've ever done it here, but maybe I just haven't used a lot of grass Pokemon. Also, another huge difference is that the trainers don't move in Red and Blue, which is nice. They just kind of look in one direction. I prefer it. With first form Pokemon, by the way, if you can get an easy win, you take those. And so this Hiker is 3 very easy Pokemon, and that should give me an entire level. Actually, it didn't. Well, it gave me close to an entire level, which is good. Rival 2 is going to be really tough, and I don't think Misty is going to be so easy either. I probably am going to want to start with Misty for Bubble Beam, but I'm going to need as many levels as possible. All right, so now I have Supersonic, and I'm going to go for it. I actually am outsped by Staryu, and Supersonic plus Tail Whip is a nice combo. Unfortunately, Starmie goes for X-Defend right away, and Supersonic misses twice. It does hit itself in Confusion once, and then twice. Wait, this is good. And now Peck, oh, that's barely doing anything. If I'd gone a little luckier, we could have done it. But sadly, as you're going to see, we do not get very much luck, and Starmie refuses to hit itself in Confusion. Like at all. Here is a compilation of stuff that is happening. Like, it went well beyond statistical probability. I don't know what was going on. This is a big problem where sometimes if you play games in unofficial ways, even the Retron 5 is an emulator. Even the Game Boy Tower is an emulator, right? Unless you are playing the game on a Game Boy or Game Boy Advance, even if you play the 3DS version, it's an emulator. And in theory, not usually in practice, but in theory, something can go wrong. For the record, this includes Fire Red and Leaf Green for Nintendo Switch. We tend to think of emulator as like third-party unofficial software emulation, but the NES, SNES Classic, all those things, it's all emulation. And even though they're close, there's actually a really good video if you're interested in NES emulation. There's a video by 100th Coin that if you're interested in like technical aspects of it, which is, by the way, really fascinating, he goes through just how accurate emulators are and whether it matters or not. But this is all just kind of an interesting aside. Unfortunately, Nintendo, or I think it was Factor 5, spoiled me with the Game Boy Tower and speed up from a young age. So it's very hard to play these games at single speed. But anytime you are not playing an original cartridge on an original hardware, and the Game Boy Advance still is original hardware, although that's hardware emulation, but it's basically one-to-one. The point I'm trying to make is that it is possible there will be differences. There probably aren't in this case, and I was just getting absurdly unlucky, but it's possible. Anywho, with that aside, you guys seem to like my asides, so I end up beating Misty with some pretty good luck this time. It's kind of funny where it's like all or nothing, but worked for me. Beating Misty was not only easier, but with Bubble Beam, and we've had this before, Rival 2 becomes easier, and it's going to be a 3-shot because our special is low, and that means Sand Attack will have an opportunity to hit me. It's actually a 2-shot on Abra, then we get our first miss, and then our second miss, and no, not our third miss, but now we're going to need some Peck luck. And we get 1, Leech Seed's good, and yay! All right, first try victory. Peck was actually very helpful here. And we're going to heal, and that's okay. I think something that often gets lost when I do these videos, because I make them in a similar format, but with the fully evolved Pokemon, I've done 69 runs, nice, by the time this one is being recorded. And a very good run, Ghastly, the best run we've ever done, this is the tier list, that one is 435. That would put me at 50 of 69. So keep in mind that the expectation for these runs is we're going to do a little bit more grinding, we're going to do a little bit more healing. This is going to take longer. The fact it's not always level 100 is actually pretty nice. I wonder in Fire Red and Leaf Green what would happen, but I don't plan to do first forms in Fire Red and Leaf Green. I do hope that if some of you really like this, you'll subscribe and stick around. I think the Fire Red and Leaf Green videos are really good. You guys have seemed to like them. I'm going to try separating them into 4 videos or 3 videos because I just think 2 hours is very long, and we'll see which format you guys prefer better. But if you want to let me know now, those videos are still in production. I could always combine them. Anywho, I've done a lot of asides today. I mean, listen, we are getting pretty deep into these runs, and it does give you a chance at least to see me in standard battles. I never have uploaded a playthrough. If you ever want to follow me on Twitch, it is a very different vibe. It's a lot more, let's call it real than we get on YouTube. Not that I'm fake on here. It's just, it's a little different. But I really do think that there is sometimes a little bit lost by the fact that you don't really see the standard battles and how long some of them take. And it really explains why some Pokemon really struggle. All right, on to Rival 3. So Rival 3, we're going to be using Bubble Beam. Sadly, no Body Slam for us, but we do have Horn Attack, which is better than Peck, and we're going to use it a little bit, although we still need Peck. Ooh, are we going to win? Oh, nice. We got Leech Seed. Very good. Okay, things are going well-ish. That has been, actually, I believe that is now 2 first try victories in a row. Not bad. And actually, Misty, well, okay, Misty was awful, so no, scratch that. Speaking of awful, battling Lieutenant Surge here would make no sense. I'm not even going to attempt it. I'm simply going to dig back to Cerulean and proceed through Rock Tunnel, and you know where we're going. Maybe you don't. We're going to Giovanni number 1, who I often call Giovanni number 2 for, I don't know why, but I do it. It's weird. Okay, so we should be able to Bubble Beam Onix and Rhyhorn in 1 hit, and then I think it'll be, oh, nice Comet Punch miss. That's a problem. So I may need to heal here. We'll try one more time. If we get Rage, we're probably good. Okay, Guard Spec is fine. Bite is less fine. Give me Rage. Yay! That gives me joy. So I did lose to Geo number 1, but again, we have to keep in mind this is a pre-evolved Pokemon, and I wasn't at full health, and I was poisoned. So now I actually do need to beat Lieutenant Surge because without Surge I can't fly, and without fly things take really long. However, in order to get to Vermilion quickly, we're going to have to do our shopping, and that means we're going to have to get the fresh water in order to proceed through Saffron City. So we'll do all that. We get the HM, of course. And now Bubble Beam is a 2-shot versus Voltorb. It will 1-shot Pikachu, and then Raichu, okay, Thundershock, and X-Speed with the speed lowering is good. This actually was a little iffy. I may have needed to level up a bit more, but hey, even against Surge, first try victory. Cool. All right, time for Rival 4. So here I have Ice Beam already, and it does 1-shot Pidgeotto. Gyarados, I go for Horn Attack. It goes for Dragon Rage once, then Leer. That's not great, but we might be fine. Bubble Beam 1-shots Growlithe. Horn Attack 1-shots Kadabra. And then Ice Beam does not 1-shot, but we get the Retroactive Potion. That's very useful. And we beat Rival 4 first try. Actually, we could have lost there, so pretty happy about that. we're going to proceed through Pokemon Tower, nothing really to talk about here, and we'll pick things up in Fuchsia City, is what I would say if I didn't remember I had to go battle Erica. But this probably won't work. I go Ice Beam. Ooh, that's a good crit. That may have just won me the battle. Tangela goes for Bind, which is okay. Super Potion is actually fine too. I don't think I'm going to win this, but we'll see. Mega Drain. Actually, I do. That first hit on Victory Bell is probably the only reason I was able to do it. But it doesn't really matter if I battle Erica now or later. We're going to need to do some leveling up. This is almost always where I need to do some leveling up. So whether I did it now or later doesn't really matter. Anyway, now we're going to go and battle Koga. Is what I would say if it weren't for this juggler. This guy is a giant pain in my rear because, well, he's just really strong. Like, 3 psychic Pokemon for a pre-evolve like Goldeen is really hard. In fact, Horn Attack and Surf are doing similar damage. But the real problem tends to be Kadabra. Also, Waterfall. We can teach that. It is a move in Gen 1, but we already have Surf, so I was hoping I could use Waterfall. Sadly, we won't be able to, but yeah, I lost this battle several times, and we talked about leveling up. A really great place to do that is in Silph Company. You always have to fight this rocket with an Arbok to get the card key. This scientist over here has Electrode and Wheezing, which give really good experience. And then I actually, in case I need, I have a Hyper Potion, and I can battle this rocket to get access to the healing location. Now I want to see how I'm going to do against rival Fivel. There is no real point in doing this. I know I'm going to lose, but I just want to see where and how. And this is important. Gyarados is where I think things are going to go wrong. I actually still have Supersonic, and I double-click it. Of course I do. But Gyarados seems to be the big problem, and I don't even try again. I'm just going to battle some rockets and get my experience points up and up and up. Like I said, with first form Pokemon, this is normal, and this is a really good place for a Goldeen right now. Another place where eventually it's good to get experience points is Koga's Gym. There are some ground Pokemon here, and if I beat Koga, even without a move to increase my stats, I will get a slight boost to my speed, which could be very helpful. But I have to actually beat Koga. Surf does one-shot Coughing with the crit. It's a 3-shot against Muck, and of course it went for Sludge, and it poisons. This isn't looking good, but yeah, it's a 2-shot. Guys, unless we get a Gen 1 Self-Destruct miss, I don't think this is going to be a victory, but nah, it doesn't happen. We do get Self-Destruct, but not a Gen 1 miss. In the second battle, I don't get as good luck against Coughing number 1, but against Muck, I get Sludge without Poison, then Minimize. So I have 52 HP going to Coughing number 2, and then 44, there's a Gen 1 miss, or did it use Smokescreen before? I think I may have missed that it used Smokescreen. I don't think that was a Gen 1 miss. Well, I do this a few more times, but unfortunately, Wheezing just proved to be too difficult. I'm going to need that to be a 2-shot. So back to Silph Company I go. There are tons of rockets I haven't fought yet, and we're just going to try and gain enough experience that I can 2-shot the Wheezing. At level 43, I get a crit, which is nice, but I don't 2-shot Muck. Poison Gas is okay, and Minimize if I don't miss is really good. Now, all right, Sludge 77. This could work pretty well. We get a crit. Darn it. We'll try one more time. This time we get X Attack on Coughing. Unfortunately, still a 2-shot. Muck, we get X Attack and Minimize. Ooh, Disable is perfect. We're at full health, and maybe we'll be full health to Wheezing. Basically, we are. So this is as good of an opportunity as we could get. X Attack, Toxic. We got this. Nice. Since we have a water Pokemon, we actually get a huge benefit to beating Koga. Not only do we get that speed boost, but we also can go right to Cinnabar. Once we get through the Pokemon Mansion, we can battle all the trainers in Blaine's gym, who are extremely easy for a water Pokemon to beat, and many of whom give a ton of experience points. But it gets even better, because like beating Koga giving us a speed boost, we're going to get a slight special boost from beating Blaine. We should just Surf and win, I hope. Surf here beats Growlithe. Surf here beats Ponyta. Rapidash outspeeds, but it goes for Growl, and remember I talked about boosting our stats? Well, lowering our stats raises our speed, and we outspeed it here. We outspeed our Canine. and takedown doesn't do quite enough. So we're at level 47, and things are looking great. The order of major battles is now set. We need to beat Fievel, Sabrina, and Giovanni number 3. In that order. There's no more choice. It's just a matter of how much do we need to level up in order to do it. The best case scenario is we've leveled up enough, but I don't think that's the case. We'll see. I go Ice Beam, Whirlwind is fine, and we're at 106 for Gyarados after a quick attack. I go for Horn Drill just for some RNG luck, and I miss 3 times. So we'll try it one more time. I mean, hey, Horn Drill could work. Unfortunately, in our next attempt, we get Sand Attack, so we're going to have to skip ahead to our 3rd attempt, since I can't miss. And then we get Whirlwind. We're at full HP. Gyarados, this time I go, I'm going to keep going for Horn Drill. I'm going to get it. And I do on my 3rd attempt, which is roughly, well, actually, it's below odds because we had 6, but good. And now that we've beaten Gyarados, I think we're fine. I'm going to go Horn Attack versus Alakazam because of our physical attack. And then Venusaur, I go Ice Beam. It doesn't have Razor Leaf, I don't think, or it just went for Vine Whip. I don't recall if it has Razor Leaf yet, but either way, if it does, I should know that by now. I really should. But if it does, we didn't get it. By the way, just double checked. It does, in fact, have Razor Leaf. I thought it did, and it just didn't use it. That's pretty lucky. For the record, it can go for Razor Leaf, Leech Seed, or Vine Whip. Again, you'd expect me to know this by now, but I do play a little too much Fire Red and Leaf Green at this point, so I get mixed up with everything. Anyway, after beating the Mandatory Rocket, I can battle Giovanni number 2. Although Goldeen won't be top tier, it's still in line to have a very good run. We've used our rare candies by this point before. The fact we haven't had to for Goldeen is really good. And none of Giovanni's Pokemon proved to be too tough. In fact, Surf basically one-shots them all, which, very good. Now all we have to do is battle Sabrina and then Geo again. So Sabrina, I think we're going to go for Horn Attack here. Getting a lot of use out of that move. You might wonder why I don't just go for Double Edge, but I worry about the recoil damage. Once we get to Venomoth, we can go for Surf. It has to go for Stun Spore because it's classified as a grass move. I anticipated Reflect from Alakazam, and so I go for Surf. And then Alakazam, after it recovers once, goes for Psy Wave, which is a terrible move. Thankfully, it didn't go for Psy Beam. And we just have one major battle left. Well, at least until Rival 6, who will probably just destroy me. But hey, that's a problem for slightly future Gyros. All right, Threavani, what you got? We have level 50 Goldeen with Surf, and we don't outspeed Doug Trio, but that's okay. I don't think we're going to one-shot... Oh, we do one-shot Nidoqueen. That's really good. And that means we're going to one-shot Nidoking. Actually, I think they have the same special. I'm thinking of special defense, which isn't a thing here. Anyway, that went really, really well. But now, Rival 6, I'm a little concerned. Probably we're going to have to use rare candies, but let's see. Okay, so we're going to go for Ice Beam and Wing Attack. That was a crit. Okay, well, that was the worst case scenario. I'm going to go for Surf. Do we level up? No. And then, let's just go for Horn Drill. Hey, first try. Pretty good. Now we level up. And we have, after beating Growlithe, Alakazam. I went for Horn Attack. Nice crit. Recover. I go for Surf. And then Reflect. And then Reflect. Okay, well, Venusaur, once again, could be really good, but it goes for Razor Leaf, which is really bad. So, do we try again? Or, let me see. I have 3,800 experience. So, why don't we go to Saffron, battle the Fighting Dojo, and then once we've gotten the 3,000 experience points we need, we can use rare candies, and now we can battle Rival 6 at level 62, but something has changed. So, we're going to go Ice Beam against Pidgeot. We actually get a freeze, which is fine. I'm not going to exploit that because what I would do anyway is go for 3 agilities. Ooh, nice Tail Whip there against Rhyhorn. Now, our Surf should be enough. Actually, wait. I'm going to go Ice Beam against Gyarados. And this is where we're exploiting everyone's favorite controversial, totally intentional mechanic, the Badge Boost glitch. And wait, are we going to be able to one-shot Venusaur? Darn it! Yay! Okay, well, it went for Vine Whip. So I've explained this in every single run. Why should this one be any different? When we modify our stats, all our stats go up by 12.5% for each time until we level up when it resets. And that's a big reason why being a high level is pretty good. It's a reason why using rare candies is pretty good. And that battle, we got a little lucky here and there. But overall, that's actually a really good sign, because with agility, I actually don't know if I need Horn Drill anymore. We might want a better move, but I couldn't really think of one. And yeah, we have one more rare candy we get in Victory Road, but time for the Elite Four. All right, Laurelie. We don't have a great matchup here, so I'm going to go for Horn Drill. Okay, that worked. And then Horn Drill. All right, I missed. And then Horn Drill. Okay, that hit. And then, you know what? Horn Drill. All right, that missed. And Horn Drill. Okay, well, 2 for 5 is 40%. It's 30%, so that makes sense. Slowbro just went for, okay, it goes for random stuff. No, I think it just goes for Amnesia, although, did it go for Withdraw at one point? Yeah, it went for Water Gun. Why? This is kind of weird. Anyway, we want to see Growl, and this is going to take a really long time. A crit would be nice. Oh, I'm actually going to run out of power points, which would be really bad. All right, I think I might have to... Ooh, nice crit, finally. Okay, so with these badge boosts, I don't one-shot Jinx, and it paralyzed me. But agility still does raid speed, so I'm pretty fast. And, oh, it's going to be close-ish, but Lapras is going to beat me. Okay, so let's try this one more time. I have another idea if this doesn't work. I mean, it's Mimic, but let's see. So this time Horn Drill misses and hits on turn 2. And we miss Cloyster. And, okay, we're 1 for 4. All right, 2 for 5 again. We're actually above odds. So I'm just going to go for Surf. Growl is good. I need to get as many Surfs as possible. But now we have... Oh, this is a lot of badge boosts, actually. Wow, yes! Yes, this is great. All those Growls are great. Now we one-shot Jinx, and now we're going to 3-shot Lapras. We're not paralyzed. Look how good our defense is. And we have made it to Bruno. Nice, that's just a free victory. So I have enough full restores, ethers, and elixirs, and Bruno should be easy. We're going to Surf Onyx number 1. Hitmonchan has really bad special, although in Gen 2 its special defense is great. Hitmonlee, same thing. Onyx number 2, same thing. Machamp will be a 2-shot, but even if it went for... It didn't. Go for submission. We will be fine. But now it's Agatha time. And this is just going to be complete RNG nonsense. Surf is going to be a 3-shot. It hits with Nightshade. We go Surf. Super Potion means it's going to be a 4-shot. It puts us to sleep, then confuses us. But we wake up. Then she heals, so it's going to be a 5-shot. But not if I crit. Nice. Then we're going to Ice Beam. Wait, we're confused. We're not going to do that, but we're confused, so it can't confuse us again. And we're confused. We don't hit ourselves in confusion. Then she heals. Then we beat it. Now we're at level 65. Surf is going to 2-shot Haunter, but it confuses us. We hit through it. Beat Haunter. Crit may have mattered. We're confused. We hit ourselves. We get bitten. Then we go for Surf. It gets withdrawn. Then it goes for Nightshade, and we lose. Whew, that was a lot. Before my next attempt, I decide to go back into Victory Road and battle a few trainers, just because I would like Agatha to be more consistently 2-shotting the Haunter, maybe even the Gengar, but I don't think we're going to get there. I am happy we make it right back to Agatha, because that means that there is some consistency in what I'm doing. And let's see if we can beat her. So, what are we going to do? Surf, Hypnosis. All right, well, that's bad. Withdraw is good, and we're asleep. Now we're confused, but it could go for Haze. It doesn't. It goes for Wing Attack. Now it goes for Haze. Sleep is gone. I go for Ice Beam. Supersonic is bad. And then I get a Gen 1 miss, of course. Then Wing Attack hits, and then I knock it out. Gengar, Hypnosis misses. Then I hit myself in Confusion. Why is it outspeeding me? We'll talk about that in a second. Then it goes for Confuse Ray, but I'm already confused. Then it heals. Then we attack. Then it goes for Dream Eater. Now we win. Now we level up. Now we're going to outspeed Haunter. It goes for Dream Eater and misses. Surf knocks it out. There's the 2-shot I wanted. Arbok goes for Screech. That's actually excellent. Now we'll definitely outspeed the second Gengar. We go for Surf, but uh-oh, we're confused. Now with that Screech, it could be devastating, but we get a crit instead. Luck was on my side. Anyway, Haze removes the badge boosts that are supposed to be there, so it's also glitchy because it's not supposed to remove those boosts. And when you level up, it also just figures out it made a mistake, and you go back to normal. Okay, so Lance, I'm just... All right, first try. I'm just going to use Horn Drill here, and actually, we may have just won. Ice Beam one-shots Dragonair, and other... Oh, it doesn't. Okay. Now we're going to set up 1 agility. Knockout Dragonair. That means we're definitely outspeeding and one-shotting Aerodactyl. We level up. This should still one-shot Dragonite. Easy peasy. Okay, we're at level 68. And now all we have to do is beat the rival. I'm going to switch Ice Beam for Blizzard for a little bit more damage. Probably could have used it against Dragonair, but didn't know that. PP up to make sure I have enough Blizzard. Elixir. And is there anything else I want? Oh, here's another rare candy. That's actually pretty useful because now I will be able to badge boost without worrying about the badge boost resetting. All right, take 1 versus the champion. So we're going to go agility. It goes mirror move agility. That's fine. I then go for Blizzard and knock out Pidgeot. Alakazam, I'm hoping this will 2-shot with the agility. I don't know. Psychic. No special drop. And all right, nice. That 2-shot is what I need. So against Rhyhorn, I go for agility 2. It goes for Leer. That's now my 3rd badge boost. Another agility, Tail Whip fails. So I'm now +4 in badge boosts. We knock it out easily with a Surf. I'm just going to go for Blizzard against Gyarados, and we get a freeze. Oh my goodness. That means, guys, that might be GG. We knock out Gyarados. We're going to one-shot Arcanine, and now it all comes down to Activision. Let's go. Critical hit. Well, I have runs where I get like the worst luck in human history. There was one recently where I did a battle 31 times, and people were like, oh, if you lose 31 times. But sometimes the luck is really bad. Sometimes the luck is really good. I do feel like, though, this was the proper level for Goldeen. Level 70, 543, in my view, puts it within the top 10. Although you can make an argument for Clefairy to be ahead of it. They're all so close. Krabby, Goldeen, very similar. Funny enough, they're very similar Pokemon. Also, Krabby's even more of an attacker physically than Goldeen is. And they actually had very different runs if you want to watch the Krabby run again. But water Pokemon just seem to be a little overpowered in Gen 1, especially with Surf. It's really good. We're missing just 5 Pokemon. 2 of them are water types, Shelder and Psyduck. And then we have 2 normal types, Meowth and Doduo, a flying type, and then Machop. I don't know if we're going to finish them all this year. We also have Nidorina as a middle form I need to do this year. And then all we have left are the fully evolved, which I should probably get to. We have a lot of those remaining. But we are slowly but surely whittling this list down. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll be back soon with a new video, and I'll see you soon. Take care.